has an effect, a little bit of an effect, but definitely expensive. This we can ignore. This is very important. Strategy is very important. Strategy is not easy to come by. But what's this? What is inexpensive and incredibly effective in making change? My notion as to the answer to that is a trim tab. So for you that have organizations, I would suggest that you try to find your trim tab. What's a trim tab? Does anyone know what a trim tab is? Anyone heard of a trim tab before? Anyone heard of Buckminster Fuller?
Yes.
It's his idea. This is a model, the gray thing in the background, of the Queen Mary II, a rather big ship. So this is a person, a car, a bus, an Airbus 380, the Titanic, and Queen Mary II. So let's call Queen Mary II your organization, or your thing that you want to make real in the world, your thing that you want to have an impact on the world with. Okay? If I had a model of the QE2 in my bathtub and I was a child and I wanted to turn that ship, the most obvious and natural thing for me to do would be to push on the bow and the ship would turn. The real QE2, if I wanted to turn it and I tried to do so by pushing on the bow, would require astronomical force. It's a near impossibility to turn that ship by pushing on the bow. So how does a ship turn? How does a ship turn? Right. This rudder. That rudder is 5 stories tall. Right? So how do I turn the rudder on a ship of that magnitude? You can't. A person can't. The guy in the control in the cabin at the front can't actually turn that rudder. So there's something called a trim tab on the rudder that is invisible in this scale model. And the one in your bathtub, you couldn't see the trim tab. It would be so small. What the trim tab does is it turns the opposite direction of the rudder, creates a vacuum in the flow of water, and allows the rudder to swing in the opposite direction, and turns the ship. So the metaphor is the big, expensive, obvious thing is pushing on the bow. Strategy, which is still expensive and still highly effective, is the rudder. And then there's the trim tab. Right? So if you can find it, it's very hard to find. But if you can find it, you can turn the ship. This, ultimately, is the key to innovation. That's why it's not complicated. It's not big. But it's very hard to find. This guy who's like the preeminent actual innovator says, who is that guy? I don't know him. Where is he in the world of actual innovation? This risk-taking guy with entrepreneurial spirit who's like changing the world and creating the new idea. I think there's a myth associated with innovation that blinds us to the nitty-gritty of what actually has to happen over the course of years for something to really be innovative. And that's really my point.
So it's an interesting relationship between standing on the shoulders of giants and yet still having the visibility to see over their shoulders creativity is most effective within a formal constraint. We have this misnomer about creativity being something that is original. Creativity is productive theft. It is about internalizing something from the outside and making it better, making it your own, transforming it into something new in a synthetic way, as opposed to sort of creation from whole cloth.